The truth has now been revealed as to why Paul Heyman shook hands with LA Knight on SmackDown, and Roman Reigns is very upset about it. And could this mean the end of Roman Reigns in WWE? LA Knight has shot to superstardom, literally overnight. However, LA Knight in his career was not an overnight sensation. LA Knight is in his 40s, and Roman Reigns is still in his 30s. And Roman Reigns has already had years on top. But now we are learning some disturbing new details involving LA Knight and Roman Reigns. Some very interesting and strange things have been going on in WWE behind Roman's back. So first, we have to ask the question, where's Roman? Why hasn't Roman been on WWE TV? There has been radio silence with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is the champion of SmackDown, yet he's nowhere to be seen. He was not at the Payback pay-per-view, and he will not be part of the next pay-per-view either, Fastlane. So what exactly is going on? Roman was last seen in WWE on August 11th, the SmackDown after SummerSlam. That was the episode where Bloodline member Jey Uso quit WWE. So why hasn't Roman Reigns been seen in WWE since then? He is simply on vacation. As we know, little over a year ago, Roman Reigns signed a new contract with WWE, which made him a part-timer. WWE has always seen the months of September and October as basically an off-season. It's time for the part-timers to put in a little bit of R&R, vacation time. And September and October is when they have their lower-level pay-per-views. And at some point in late October or early November, Roman will return to WWE to start the build for Survivor Series and possibly Crown Jewel. But while Roman has been gone, some very interesting things have been going on. Things that Roman is not happy about, including the backstage encounter between Roman Reigns' manager, Paul Heyman, and rising superstar LA Knight. Let's get to the full details on what exactly is going on with this breaking news story. During a recent episode of SmackDown, Paul Heyman was backstage in his dressing room talking to WWE General Manager Adam Pearce. Paul Heyman was asking who is going to be traded to SmackDown from Raw. As we know, because Jey Uso joined Raw, WWE has stated that because of Jey signing with Raw, SmackDown will get a Raw talent who will soon be traded to SmackDown. Paul Heyman was trying to find out who will be traded to SmackDown, as Paul Heyman has a big interest in this because it was Cody Rhodes who got Jey Uso to be signed to Raw. So obviously Heyman wants to know, okay, so who's going to be basically traded for Jey Uso? But then Paul Heyman was interrupted when LA Knight came in to ask Adam Pearce if he could set up a match with The Miz. Adam Pearce did so, and LA Knight and The Miz will have another match. But Paul Heyman took it upon himself to introduce himself to LA Knight. Paul Heyman said that he had never formally met LA Knight and that he wanted to shake hands with him because he had heard a lot of great things about LA Knight, and Heyman was in awe of LA Knight's newfound fame. And that is when Paul Heyman put out his hand and LA Knight shook it. So why did LA Knight and Paul Heyman shake hands? What is behind this backstage interaction? Well, we are now learning that this was not some meaningless, harmless interaction. This is going to have major repercussions that will be felt in WWE, if not for months to come, for years to come. Because this was literally the meeting of the minds. This was the manager for the biggest star in WWE shaking hands with the biggest rising star in WWE. So this was a monumental moment, and it's very possible that Roman Reigns was at home watching SmackDown and witnessed his very own manager cozying up to LA Knight and shaking hands with him. As we know, Roman Reigns has been the top star in WWE for several years now, and nobody has come close. But is LA Knight the guy who will basically replace Roman Reigns? That is one thing that Roman Reigns has to be worrying about right now. Is WWE positioning LA Knight in such a way that soon LA Knight is going to take Roman Reigns' spot as the top superstar in WWE? As we know, LA Knight is the #1 merchandise seller in WWE ahead of Roman Reigns. So Roman Reigns has to be thinking about this and has to be upset and worried about this. This is not a throwaway interaction. WWE does not do anything this big unless it has big plans in the works. And according to insiders, big plans are definitely in the works involving LA Knight and Roman Reigns. So coming up in the next couple of months, probably the November pay-per-view, we will see LA Knight versus Roman Reigns. And WWE is not only planning an LA Knight versus Roman Reigns feud, they are possibly thinking about replacing Roman Reigns with LA Knight. LA Knight probably costs about 90% less than Roman Reigns. And LA Knight's contract dictates that he has to be on SmackDown every week, wrestle house shows, do tons of appearances, do every pay-per-view, whereas Roman Reigns, he doesn't do every pay-per-view, he misses most episodes of SmackDown, he makes very few public appearances. So WWE feels like they have a bargain on their hands with LA Knight. Somebody who's cheap, somebody who's on the show all the time, and somebody who is getting over huge with fans currently. What are your thoughts about Paul Heyman's backstage interaction with LA Knight and them shaking hands? And what are your thoughts about the upcoming feud between LA Knight and Roman Reigns? Leave a comment below and give me your opinion. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell notification so you are notified when we upload a new video.